Hello, and welcome to another painting video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do simple base coats on a model. Here in front of me, I have my paint all set up on my palette. I have my brushes, I have my model on his paint handle, ready to be painted, and I have my selection of paints, my water cup, my paper towel. I'm set to go. So here we have a goblin spearman. And what we're going to do is start with the skin tone. When I lay down base coats on the model, I like to start from the skin and work my way out. Just like when you're dressing yourself, you're dressing the model. You start from the inside out. That way, if I have the skin tone all done and getting all the nooks and crannies deep in, I don't have to worry about a stray paint mark getting on other areas that I've already completed. So add a little bit of water to your paint to loosen it up. And I like to drag and twist my brush to get a nice point. And just start applying the paint on the model. At this stage, it's okay if you stray and get it on other areas. That's alright. We're going to cover that up with different colors in a bit. So you just want nice smooth coverage. Don't dab your brush at the model. That can damage the tip. So just nice smooth motions across the area. Make sure you get it in all the crevices and in between fingers, things like that. Just nice smooth. Now you want your paint thin, but not too thin, enough to flow off your brush really nice and smooth. If it's too thick, it can cover up the details. Don't worry with the first layer if you don't cover up all the undercoat. Just wait for it to dry and then add another layer, because if you keep working the area as it's drying, you can actually pull up the paint from before, and then you have a splotchy mess. So I like to either work top down, work on the face, then the shoulders or whatever area is skin, and work down my way the model down to the feet. And then once I'm done with down at the feet, top portion is dry. And then I just go back and apply another layer. If the paint's not flowing well, just add a little bit more water to it. And you want to make sure that you don't get it into the metal ferrule of the brush, because if you get paint dried in there, it will spray out your bristles. It'll make a nice feather look and you lose your point. And if you have too much water on it, just dab it on your paper towel. You'll wick off the excess water. The term is called wicking. So it just sucks up the water. Right there, I had a little bit too much water. Clean off my brush, dry it off. And we'll let that dry and we'll go to the next color. So the next stage will be his tunic cloth right here. And we're going to paint that a nice red. Do a little bit of wicking to get some of that excess water off. Then you just apply the paint. Just make sure that you don't, now that you have the skin, just make sure you don't get it on the skin. But if you do, it's okay. Let it dry and then you can cover it up. Nice smooth motions. I'm using the Citadel brand, from Games Workshop, Citadel paint, the base paints. And the base paints have more pigment in it and are designed to cover a black undercoat in one layer. Some colors you might have to do 2 or 3, but usually you can get it within 1 to 2. Like I said, nice smooth application. Let it dry, then come back and do a second layer. That'll give you a nice solid foundation to build from with your other techniques. Like that. Be sure to clean your brush really good between colors. You don't want to contaminate. What I do is I'll dip it in my water and just drag and pull it. Make sure there's no paint up in that ferrule. So just dip the tip of the brush into your water and add it to your paint. And wick it, and then apply the paint. So this one is our leather color. He's got a belt buckle, a pouch, and then the leather straps on his feet. This is where you really need to have that nice sharp point to make sure you don't get it on those other colors. Nice smooth motions. If you got the paint thin enough to where it flows off, it just sticks to the model and makes it much easier. Make sure you get in between all those, in between the straps. Nice good coverage. Alright, so now we're going to move to our next color. And this is going to be a lighter brown. This is going to be for the spear, the wood, right here. Nice smooth motions. You're going to use your fingers to move the brush. to our light gray color. And we'll apply it on the fur of his boots. And don't worry if it doesn't get into all the, in between each of the fur, there's still some of the undercoat underneath. That's okay, that just adds shading. But a second layer should cover that up, so it's not a big deal. Applied a little thick right there. If you do apply thicker paint, just wipe off your brush and then just spread it across the area as best as possible. When this area, when it dries, it'll actually go into those crevices, and it's not too big of a deal. Just keep an eye on the paint, make sure it's working the way you want to. Alright, now we got that color. I'm going to go back to my leather strap brown here. It's reddish brown color. Because right here between the spearhead there's a bit of a strap to hold it on there. So we'll paint that. And he also, we can't catch it on the camera, but right here he's got some leather string that ties tunic together. Pick that out. It's kind of hard against the red because they're similar in tone, but our net stage with the shading will really make that pop. So now we're going to do the metallic, and with the metallic I like to use a different type of brush specifically for the metallic paints. So this metallic paint has fine ground bits of metal, like glitter, to make it sparkle. So when you are painting with metallics and regular colors, I got a lot of water on here, hold on a second. Because it has that fine bits of metal or glitter in there, when you clean it off, it gets in your paint pot. So you want to use a separate paint pot for your metallics, for the metal colors. That way you don't take the chance of getting little bits of metal in like your leather colors or your skin tones, unless that's what you want. And that can do a nice little effect on the skin tone if you want to make them sparkle. Like ghost type characters or things like that. So the metallic you're just applying the same way. Nice, smooth. Here's this shoulder bit of armor here. He also has an earring. Right there, we'll pick that out. And then we have the belt buckle. So you want to make sure you have a nice tip on your brush. And just drag it across the raised area to pick that out. Like I said, I use a different pot for the metal colors. Now when you're cleaning your brush in the paint pot, in your water pot, sorry, you just want to loosely swish it in there. You don't want to press against the sides or on the bottom, because that can damage your brush. And then you use your paper towel to wick off the excess water. Now we can leave it like this. Nice clean base coat. It's all in the lines. We have the skin tone where the skin should be, cloth where the cloth should be, all that stuff. We can leave it like that and bring it onto the table. Alright, now that's some very nice looking base coats on the model. He's ready for our next stage. Be sure to tune in next video where I'll go over the simple technique of shade washing. Thank you and happy painting.